All right, so now we're moving on to SimpleNexus, Working Your Loans Part 2 in the web dashboard. This is going to be going over a number of different things, but part of that might include pre-approval letters and pre-qual letters, ordering credit, and a few other little pieces that you guys will want to know. So now we're going to go back to SimpleNexus.com and I'll show you where to access this next portion. All right, so once again at SimpleNexus.com, we're going to go ahead and go over to loans. And then it brought us here to our active loans. And now we're going to go ahead and go into a specific borrower file. So let me come in here to my test file here, Alice First Timer. When we are in here, one of the things you'll notice is this little down arrow where you can actually see if you've got different files happening for that particular customer. So maybe you have a first and a second, or maybe a purchase and a refinance. You would just click here and you would see the other different loans and you could toggle between them right here. Also, you'll notice in here it has generate letter. This is where you're going to go ahead and go to do either a pre-qual or a pre-approval letter. I'll show you a quick example of a pre-approval letter. If I click here, it's very quick and easy. It's got all this information already pulled in from Encompass from when the application was completed. And if you notice, it will let you change things. So if I wanted to change this to say 450, then it is going to let me make that change. But keep in mind, it doesn't automatically change all of these. You're going to need to change them individually. But the other thing to know is that it's not going to override Encompass. So it will change it for the purposes of this pre-approval letter, but it will not override Encompass. So also there's another question on here that says, is this a keys on time loan? If you guys don't already know what Keys on Time is, it's a great program that APM has been offering for quite a long time. We've had different versions of it over the years, but it basically allows you to offer that if it doesn't close on time, that they can get a credit of up to a maximum of $2,000. So you should definitely go onto the hub and type in Keys on Time and learn more about the parameters on that. There are some specific things and timelines that you need to meet. But in this case, because I want it to show up on that pre-approval letter, I want them to see that they have a possible credit. I'm going to go ahead and hit pre-approval. And then I'm going to go ahead and come down and I might put in that this is a conventional loan. I'm going to put in that this is owner occupied. And then this is where it's going to ask me, do you notice it's defaulted? It says allow partners to lower the purchase price on this letter. No. So right now it's marked to no. That's the default. But if I do want to allow my real estate partner to adjust the price down, then I'm going to go ahead and click yes. And now they're going to have that option as long as they've got a SimpleNexus account that's been created by me through the co-branding. All right, so if I'm going to click on generate letter, then it's going to go ahead and generate the letter. Hold on. I had to modify it real quick because it wants to balance everything. Sales price, I'm going to go ahead and click that back to where it was and hit generate letter. And now this is the pre-approval letter. You notice I can download it, I can print it. This is what it looks like. Just keep in mind that these pre-approval letters and pre-qual letters are also customizable by the branch manager or branch administrator. All they need to do is contact mobile@apmortgage.com and make that request for the change. And it will change for the whole branch, not a specific loan officer. It applies to the whole branch. But if you notice, this particular one, because I said Keys on Time, does have that credit on here. So that's going to look extra good and hopefully help me to stand out when this offer comes over to those sellers. And then, of course, it's got my auto-generated signature. And remember that under the settings and then account, you guys can actually change that signature to a personalized one if you prefer. Once I hit share letter, it's going to automatically pre-fill in the email addresses for anybody associated with this account, so the borrower, and in this case, the realtor as well. If I wanted to add in some other email addresses, I could. And then I can also type in a nice little message here that says, congratulations, happy house hunting. All right, I'm going to hit share that letter. And now the borrower would have gotten a notification or an email letting them know that that pre-approval letter is there, and the agent will get that as well. I'm going to hit back to loan. All right, so next I want to show you guys if you want to go ahead and let's say add a new borrower, maybe you had two separate borrowers that were on two different applications and you want to go ahead and help connect them both to this one, you can actually come in here and choose another borrower that has an account. Maybe they've created their SimpleNexus account, but they weren't on this loan. You can connect another co-borrower to this right here. Also, if you needed to unlink a borrower for some reason, you were no longer going to have them as a part of the loan, maybe you were taking them off, you can unlink that particular app user as well by clicking on the borrower and going to unlink. Also, something else to know about this is if you guys have borrowers that you don't want the tasks and documents to be visible between those borrowers, you can actually unclick this box right here. So that way they won't necessarily be able to see that between them. And then, of course, if you want to view that application, you can come back in here and view the application. And below that is where you can either view the credit report if you've already pulled it, or you can go ahead and do another credit check right here. As we talked about on the workflow document, yes, you can pull credit in SimpleNexus. I still feel that best practice is probably to pull it in Encompass. Although when you do pull it in Encompass, you can't see it in SimpleNexus and vice versa. So it just depends on where you'd rather be able to access that. But once you actually pull this credit report inside of SimpleNexus, you will be able to see it in Encompass as long as you import it. So we may have that on another video, but for now, just know that best practice is probably just to go ahead and pull the credit report inside of Encompass, but you are able to do that also from SimpleNexus.com or from your mobile app. All right, so the next video we're going to be talking about is going to be going over the borrower tasks. So let's get into that next.